Hey, what's up? Rafael Cortez here on the Wholesaling Business Blueprint. All right, should I hire a VA? These are the top 3 things to consider when you're doing so. What's up? Let's tackle this. This is a very common question. Should I hire a VA whenever you're kicking off your wholesaling business? More often than not, we start off as solo operations, right? And I think it's the right way to do it. Why? Because you get the experience, you actually know what you're doing before you bring somebody in and start giving them responsibilities. But sooner than later, sooner hopefully, you're gonna bring in somebody into the company to help you out with the tasky stuff, right? With the things that are redundant, that can be delegated, and it usually turns out to be a VA. So one of the questions that I keep getting on a regular basis from students is, should I hire a VA? Am I ready to hire a VA? Well, there's a couple of things that you got to consider if you're thinking about hiring a VA, right? First off, hiring a VA is one of the fastest ways to start scaling your company, right? And growing your team. All right, so, and I quote unquote scale because you're not, if you're a solo operation, more than likely you're not really ready to scale. You're ready to implement structure. It's completely different. You're solidifying the process that you have in place and you start plugging people into it, right? We're not really scaling. It's not about growing the company yet. It's about establishing and creating solid processes. So VAs tend to be, one of the first hires. A VA, let me backtrack here a little bit. A VA, for those who don't know, is a virtual assistant, right? So you hire a VA, and there's many places where you can find VAs. Basically, what that person is gonna do is they're gonna take care of the tasky stuff, right? The stuff that take up a lot of time. As business owners, even as solo operators, we wanna focus on the highest income generating opportunities out there. All right, when you plug in a VA to take care of the dials, to take care of the transactional paperwork, I mean, that's really when you're taking your time back, and it's a very good use of your budget and of their time. All right, so a couple of things when you bring in a VA. Whenever you're gonna delegate, think about the most time-consuming actions that you're taking on day-to-day that pay you the least, right? Those are the stuff that you want to start to delegate first. When hiring a VA, there are 3 major things to consider. The first one is going to be the budget, all right? Oftentimes, if you're going to plug somebody into your business and they're a VA, you're thinking payroll budget, right? I need to pay this person $1,200 a month or whatever the number is. There's additional things that come along with that, right? You have to keep them busy. So think about that. When you're creating your budget for a VA, you have to keep them busy. If they're going to be doing cold calling, which is one of the most common assignments for VAs, you're going to have to buy data, right? You're going to have to buy data. You're going to have the system in place in order for them to actually operate and bring you the leads, right? For example, if they're cold calling. So think about the budget and then think about anything else that's going to take for you to keep them busy and how much that's gonna cost, all right? So your budget covers all of that stuff. I've seen it time and time again where people bring in a VA and they're budgeting for that $1,200, and then next thing you know, they didn't think about the other $1,200 or $1,500 that they were gonna have to pay in order to buy all that data that's gonna keep them busy, right? So now the last thing that you wanna have in your business is a VA who's just sitting right there and they don't have enough things to do, all right? So that's not conducive. So think about the budget, everything that entails. The second thing, it's gonna be setting the expectations. When you sit down to hire a VA, you're gonna bring up accountability. How are you gonna hold them accountable? What is the job description? What is the exact set of responsibilities that VA is gonna have in your business, right? Now we're talking, break down the hourly, break down the pay, the bonuses, itemize the stuff that they're gonna have to do on a day-to-day basis for you. That way there are no discrepancies and there's no redundancies, there's nothing that's ambiguous, and they have clear-cut responsibility set in place, right? That's gonna be the best use of your money. The third thing is gonna be the workload, right? Defining the workload. Job description is one thing, but actually defining what's gonna be required in order for them to perform the workload is something else, right? Are you gonna have to bring in new software, new structure to your business? Is there something that's gonna have to be added in order for them to perform and not you having to do everything? Do you have to create like training programs? Do you have to create new protocols, new agreements, and that sort of thing when you're bringing in a VA? So those are three of the major things to consider when hiring a VA. And I want to tackle a fourth one, which is perhaps the most important one. When am I ready to hire a VA? All right, that's going to be subjective. It's totally going to depend on the business itself, but I think there's a couple of good guidelines that we can follow. All right, if you have income already coming into the business and it's sustainable, if the business is going to be paying for that payroll, I think you have the opportunity to start contemplating a new hire, right, in the form of VA. Now, when does it make sense to bring somebody in? If you're still performing, you're doing everything yourself, and it's tasky, and you're getting headaches, and you feel like you don't want to make the calls anymore, you feel like consistency is dropping, if you feel like the tenacity that you used to have to go after those conversations on the phone is kind of fading away, it's time to delegate it, especially if you already have some results in the form of income coming into your company. So there's no set guideline, there's no magic number where like, yeah, 3 months into it, I'll hire, 6 months into it, I'll hire. I've had people come in and then hire VAs 2 weeks into it. Why? Because they got enough practice, they were doing the reps, and they feel like they have to move on, but they have some results in place. So create some results in the area that you're gonna be plugging in a VA into. And then after you figure out what that looks like, after you figure out how you're going to train them, after you figure out what the responsibilities are that you're going to delegate to them, you can bring somebody into that space. Do not hire a VA if you don't have the budget. Now remember, budget is payroll and then additional costs like data and things that are going to keep them busy. So at the end of the day, it really comes down to this, right? The stuff that gives us, headaches is the stuff that we want to delegate or automate. If you can't automate it through a system, through a process, through a software, you can delegate it to another VA. Just consider that every time you expand your team, you bring somebody into your company, there's going to be costs that are going to be somewhat hidden, all right? So consider all those angles: budget, expectations, and workload whenever you're hiring a VA and bringing somebody else to your team. All right, so hope you like that video. Don't forget to subscribe, smash that subscribe button, stay focused, you got this.